to turn to the Third Reich now. But
But he posted a picture on Twitter with Sean Dean. He's got his cast and it says "Justice" on it. And then somebody says Hook is some fucking girl says on Twitter, Hook is what? Stokely, I hate your ball ass so much. And then Big Stoke on Twitter goes, wow, Hook will pay for his crimes. It was confirmed that there was a forearm fracture which required a cast. I am distraught. I rolled dice with my left hand, so I'm please don't make me sue this company, Tony Khan. Please, you know that a portrait of your father that's hanging in your office? Well, once I own this company, I'm replacing it with a big-ass photo of James Brown. Yep. Every time you see the Godfather of Soul sweating in a drug-fueled rage at the Apollo, you're gonna think of me. Sounds pretty miserable, bro. Do the right thing. Punish this little bastard Hook and write me a fat check. By the way, here's a photo of me with my best friend Al Sharpton. It means absolutely nothing, by the way. Blushing face. But somebody tweeted, he tweeted, Hook is a piece of shit, and then somebody tweeted this. Some woman, I dated a 5'8" guy who taunt every I dated a 5'8" guy who taunt every jacked. 6'3" bro he met until they pulled their first back to beat him up. Whereupon my ex would go, hey, come on. I'm a little guy. I'm just a little guy. No, it's just also my birthday. I'm a birthday boy. It somehow always worked. And then Stokely just quote tweets it. Fuck you.
Tony Brown, but who the fuck's in the background? It's Hook. It's fucking Hook. And then he's getting twerked on by some fucking broad. My t-shirt money is now in the ass crack of some fucking stripper. So thanks, Hook. But I don't. But Jesus Christ, this is the greatest fucking thing I've ever seen.
Clip it.
Oh,
but
actually,
hey, it worked out in the long run.
I actually do hope they make another season, actually, because I would love to see the American Dragon on Total Bellas start memeing on John Laurinaitis. You have live footage of John Laurinaitis in his living room calling somebody in his underwear, saying, "Hey, bud, you fired."
What did Max Caster say about me?
Like, I'm embarrassed the fact that I'm hosting a post show for this crap.
I'm proud of you, Carl. I love this.
We did our Valentine's Day post of Hooked on You, but it was mainly for Jamie Hayter and only Jamie Hayter.
It's not right. It's not right. I'm trying to build an account and we get this bullshit on the account. Great. But
so follow a simp account.
Okay. Okay, but here's the thing, because those people, this is networking. This is
we actually
networking.
follow.
You got
it was a business decision.
It's a business. It's a business. You have to follow these people. This is like following. If you want a stan account, you got to follow the other stans. And when you get big, you get rid of them. You get rid of them after that. It's over with.
I open up our Instagram. It's Wednesday, you know what that means. It is time for your weekly dose of the Pro Wrestling Injection right here on the Pro Wrestling Injection YouTube and Twitch. As always, I'm here joined by my illustrious panel of co-hosts. We have Mr. Marathon himself, Mike, and down below we have the Goon, Christian. Not a lot to get into today. Just a fact that Juice is hurt. He'll be out. He's being replaced with Commander,
which is not bad, but that's the thing. Juice was the pin eater of the block, so it's really not that crazy. But it has been confirmed to be a broken fibula, so he's going to be out for a while, which sucks because Juice on TV is always great. But just get well soon to Juice. I mean, that's a really tough break. He just came back, and well, recently I guess he just came back, but. That really sucks. So get well soon to Juice. I hope he gets well soon and has a speedy recovery.
Yeah. And I think that is
pretty much. That's really all there is when it comes to the news docket.
Yeah, because we covered everything that we could last week. So yeah. Sorry, I'm just trying to.
All right.
See something.
Mm-hmm.
But you guys can.
So there was a Dynamite tonight.
Yeah, there was. It was good.
Yeah, I enjoyed the show tonight. Solid episode, great wrestling. I mean, as we're in the midst of the tournament, but the wrestling was great. Not a bunch of storyline advancement, but the wrestling itself was just fantastic tonight. Just as a pure wrestling show, it was real good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All
Okay.
right, let's just get into it. We started off with a vignette about the Continental Classic, which I liked, thought it was good. Then we go right into Shelton Benjamin versus Kyle Fletcher. Very good match.
Yes, and the finish was smart. You kept both guys strong.
Yes.
Because I thought either Shelton was going to go over here or shenanigans was going to happen. And sure enough, shenanigans did happen.
Yeah, I was expecting because I mean, obviously in a tournament like this, people need to take losses, and sometimes it's not guys who you think of because these are two guys that are hot right now. With Kyle just beating Ospreay at the pay-per-view and Shelton being one of the most dominant factions so far, but
Yeah.
I mean, Shelton is a lot lower of a rung than Kyle right now because he's the third man in his group. But Kyle, I did expect him to pick up the victory here. But I mean, they protected Shelton on the way out. I mean, he got fucked over. Shelton looked great. I mean, the crowd was so up for Shelton. Shelton has been, I mean,
Awesome.
he's been nothing but fantastic since he came to AEW, and the crowd's really buying into him because I mean this guy's what, fucking 48 years old, and he's in tremendous shape. He's still working in the ring, working like he's in his mid-20s. I mean the guy's fantastic, and he's in a place where he could show it. I mean you really haven't seen this side of Shelton since he was in New Japan when he was doing the G1 runs when he was in Suzuki-gun. So very, very, very pleased with how Shelton Benjamin is being presented in this tournament. And I mean, that was one of the few great matches he's gonna have because listen, he already wrestled Mark Briscoe, but he still has Okada, Garcia, and the Beast Muertos to go. So those are three more great matches that are lined up for him. So very excited to see where Shelton goes from here. I don't think he's obviously going to win the block.
Oh no.
But he's been having a great showing.
Me and Mike came to the conclusion last week that the possibility for finals are what it was Osprey or Okada or Osprey and Fletcher.
My prediction beforehand, probably since I wasn't here last week, my prediction beforehand anyway was Osprey Okada. As a final, I think Okada is going to make it out of the block with the title. And it's going to be for his belt because obviously it's the runner-up of B versus the winner of A, and the runner-up of A versus the winner of B.
Yeah.
But I think going to the pay-per-view, making out of the block, I think it's going to end up being, I do think it's going to be on the Blue League side of things, Okada and Fletcher. Garcia could also, but I do see it being Okada and Fletcher. And then on the Gold League side of things, I believe it's going to be I think Osprey automatically, and it's between Ricochet and Darby Allin. I'm leaning towards Ricochet, so they could do Ricochet versus Osprey on a pay-per-view, and obviously Darby is in a major angle with the Death Riders, and he has bigger fish to fry when it comes to that. And I don't think they want to fuck finish at a pay-per-view in a semifinal tournament match when a guy has to wrestle later on in the night. But my final prediction is Osprey Okada, and I think Okada is actually going to win and keep the title.
I can see that.
Yeah, I also forgot to factor in that the semis and the final were all on the same show last week, but I think Osprey and Okada are definites to both be on the pay-per-view. So
because if people don't remember,
because you have to also, sorry to cut you off, you also have to realistically think, okay, who is actually capable of wrestling twice on the show, and who do you think they're gonna run with?
Yeah, and it's like Osprey and Okada have wrestled numerous times before. They know each other, they're familiar with each other. They've wrestled this year at the top of this year. Osprey's final New Japan match was against Kazuchika Okada. Basically, Okada's last run started with the Osprey match. This would be the first time AEW's ever run an Osprey Okada match, which was the match of the year what was it, last year? And last year, and actually no, 2 years ago. Um, and yeah, you you got to run that match eventually. Um, I mean, it could come to a point where both. I mean, both. It could be a rematch in the finals of two members of uh, Gold League who have already wrestled each other. Say, like for example, Osprey and Darby win their semi matches and they wrestle each other again. That could do something. Like they could do something like that. But I do think the finals is going to end up being a Gold League versus Blue League situation. I do think Okada's going to win, and take that title into the Tokyo Dome at Wrestle Dynasty. Which
Yeah.
also actually
Possible
that's a piece.
possible tease of Omega match.
Maybe. And I do want to say this too because I forgot to add this. There was actually one piece of news that was confirmed. There was one more match confirmed for Wrestle Dynasty, in the Tokyo Dome, and it's going to be the Young Bucks versus the United Empire, consisting of the Great Khan and Hinare, who they are currently the IWGP Heavyweight Tag Team Champions. So that one has been confirmed, and the Young Bucks are probably going to be coming back around that time. Maybe not even. Maybe they might just come back on that show. So we'll see.
All right.
Yeah, so after the hand on the rope finish pin from Fletcher onto Shelton Benjamin, he's in a hurry to get out of there, and I can't necessarily blame him because I wouldn't want Shelton Benjamin following me because
You know
he
what?
kicked my ass.
I think that like I love that they did here is no managers or anyone at ringside, but Don Callis gets a pass because he gets to be on commentary. I
That's
love
the
that.
loophole.
That's like every
It's a loophole.
manager should do that then. Every manager needs to do that then. You have like MVP on commentary. It'd be you have like Kyle O'Reilly on commentary for the Mark Briscoe matches or Rocky. Like do that. That's the most smartest thing to do.
You could, but at the same time, like, don't overdo it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it could get ridiculous to a point where, I mean, I think on commentary is obviously fun, but I mean, you can't have something where it's like they're getting involved because that would just, I mean, the whole point of the tournament is to not have that shit.
Yeah,
But
I'd rather just leave it to one person than multiple people doing it
Yeah,
because
like,
that
maybe
way
one
it's like
person-
it's good and it doesn't ruin it.
Yeah, like you got Don in there for Fletcher in the Blue League, maybe in the Gold League. I mean, there's not really anybody there who could have one besides Claudio. Like if Mox wants to be on
Oh my
commentary, but I doubt
God.
that's gonna happen.
No, just
Nah,
put
it wouldn't
Wheeler.
make
But
sense.
there's nobody in the Gold
Nah.
League that has a manager. I mean, Brody, Claudia, Will, Darby, Commander, and Ricochet. None of them could do that. The only person I
don't
could
need it.
see maybe is MVP for Ricochet, but that's not advanced enough to do that.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So
I mean,
after
Daddy Magic and Garcia, but Daddy Magic is basically a color commentator at this point.
Yeah, you're right.
yeah, they haven't done anything with him in the ring.
I mean, yeah, I get it because I mean he's got his hands full because he's filling in for Taz. Taz should be back. I think Taz will end up being back at the Hammerstein show.
I can't wait to talk about the
maybe.
Jericho segment. It fucking gave me a stroke.
Oh, I'm so happy they did that because I forgot the Ring of Honor pay-per-view was on the 20th. And now I'm actually thinking about going to that. So I'm glad they did that. But after that, we had a short Collision Continental Classic recap vignette, specifically featuring the two matches of Ospreay versus Juice and Okada versus Garcia. If they keep this up throughout the entirety of the Continental Classic, I will be very happy. Because I thought this was good, and I think it's good to short recap every week. So I like this and hope they continue to do it moving forward. And then we have Hook, the Signal. Everyone's looking up. Maybe not everyone's looking up, but I was. He comes out, grabs a microphone, calls out Nick Wayne and Christian Cage because he wants to get his hands on Christian Cage at the pay-per-view, I believe. Or was it Collision?
He wants him at Hammerstein.
Yeah, I don't remember whether or not he specified the show, but he wants to get his hands on both of them. I
Hammerstein
forgot
is just your normal shows.
He
It's
wanted
not pay per
he wanted
views.
he wanted Hammerstein at he wanted Christian at Hammerstein. He wants Nick Wayne now because he has a match confirmed with Nick Wayne at Hammerstein. Because the reason I actually want to get some flavor to this, the reason Nick Wayne was the first person booked for Hammerstein, because Tony ain't no dummy, and Tony remembers what happened to Nick Wayne the last time with Hammerstein. So when GCW ran the Hammerstein Ballroom for the World on GCW, they booked Nick Wayne for a match, and Nick Wayne was 16 at the time, and in the state of New York, he wasn't allowed to wrestle.
somebody ratted.
Somebody ratted, and the State Athletic Commission shut his match down, and Nick wasn't allowed to wrestle on that show. So what happened was that Joey Janela ended up giving Nick Wayne asking Nick Wayne who's his dream match and giving him that match that he wanted. When he ended up picking Will Ospreay, and they had that great match in GCW. Will and Nick Wayne when Nick was, I think he was 16 or 17. But now since he's 18 and he can now wrestle on this show. That's why he was the first person booked for the Hammerstein show.
That's great.
Make sure it's important for him to get on that show.
Or is he 19 by now? I don't even remember.
I think he's 19 now.
Yeah, because he got
he's probably 19.
signed when as soon as he turned 18, he
while
had a
ago.
contract with AEW. So
Yeah, so he
Yeah,
calls.
he's 19.
Yeah, that's what I would give to go back 9 years. So he calls out basically the entire patriarchy at that point, and as Christian Cage, as Nick Wayne is in the ring, Kip Sabian comes into the ring. He gets distracted. As Hook fights those two off, Mother Wayne comes up to the apron to provide the distraction for Christian Cage, who hits Hook in the back of the head, in the head with the contract. And then they beat up on him, and then they do a concerto onto his wrist/hand, where this spot pissed me off so much because Kip was holding his arm like around the elbow, and I'm like, okay, good. Then he goes and hang by the shoulder, and I'm like, dumbass, he can still do this and avoid. So that pissed me off a little bit. But effective. I'm sorry. Yeah, I just get a little.
no, it's all good.
I can
All
only
good.
suspend my disbelief so much.
Yeah.
Like I am kind of realistic with some things. That's one thing. But yeah, they hit a concerto on Hook's hand and basically set up the challenge for Hammerstein. So he has, today is the 4th. He's got 17 days to heal up.
No, he's just gonna have the fake cast and just use it in the match.
Probably.
That's like
I
the
just love
best
how-
thing to do.
I just love how instead of Christian getting like a new holder for the contract, he just keeps using the bent one. I don't know why, but that
Well, it's
pops me.
like the Money in the Bank briefcase. I remember when
Yeah.
fucking Ziggler had it, and
The Miz
his
had.
fucking yeah, and the Miz had that thing was fucking barely fucking holding on until he waited a year. He had it for a fucking year. That shit was still fucking destroyed.
If I remember correctly, they did a like a room or a house tour with Alex Riley. He still had the briefcase. That briefcase, paint chipping off it, dented to high hell. It's fucking crazy.
They're just like, you're getting one of these. Don't lose it.
After this, did we have the Christian segment? Not Christian, Chris
We
Jericho
had
segment.
we had Mercedes walking up in the back. She gets approached by Renee, gets asked about Camille's attack, and she's just like, I don't want to hear about this, basically. And this was very short. She said she's going to keep an eye on Anna Jay versus Penelope Ford. We surprisingly did not get a follow-up to the Camille attack, because I didn't consider this a follow-up to that. So I'm hoping they somewhat do something soon.
Well, I think what it is
Or
during
do
the
you
end,
think they'll wait until
well,
Collision?
I think Camille is gonna attack Mercedes after the Anna Jay match. I think just the Anna Jay match is a buffer to get them to a TBS title match at the pay-per-view. So just give Mercedes something to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. After this, we had the Hurt Syndicate in the back, and MVP was not happy with Shelton Benjamin after dropping the match. And at first, I'm like, okay, he's scolding him. This is not what we do. We beat people up, and
We
then
hurt people.
they, yeah,
We
and
hurt people.
they definitely
hurt
hurt some
people.
people.
We hurt people.
Makeshift security, baby.
We hurt people.
Gotta love them.
We hurt
Nah,
people.
they fucking beat up
We
a
hurt people.
Yep, we get it.
We hurt people. We hurt people.
We
hurt people.
hurt
I'm just saying the lyrics to the song. I actually unironically like that song. Like that shit in the gym, like while lifting, saying we hurt people is actually kind of fucking good. I'm not even
Yeah,
gonna-
with the beat, I can
Yeah.
imagine.
The
I fuck with West Side Gun anyway, so it was alright.
yeah, it was makeshift security and a makeshift PA
Oh
that
yeah.
just got like fucking thrown into the garage multiple times.
Yeah,
The one
guy,
security guard
I guess that
that
one guy
got
took
thrown
a
up.
hit.
Yeah.
Yeah, he took a hit. That boy earned his hot dog and handshake.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm like, okay, that was a good follow-up. A thing I enjoyed on the show, definitely. After this, after we watched Makeshift Security get murdered, love to see it, pops me every time. We had the Dynamite Diamond Battle Royal, in which the final two participants face each other next week for a chance to wrestle MJF at World's End.
So me and Mike talked about this. We thought last year was the last year for the ring.
No. Why would it be? He's a heel again.
Well, no, because I thought because like I thought because like they were, I don't know. I thought we talked about it being the last year.
Yeah, I think weren't you like you were under the impression that they put an end to it.
I think
and
all
I
of
was
us
just
were.
like, I don't remember.
I don't remember them doing that at all.
I could have swore we talked about it at one point.
Because why not? He still has the thing, and it's probably going to be the first time he's ever going to lose it.
And also, maybe. And also, like, the ring was most recently used to screw Adam Cole out of the Full Gear match. So
yeah. I mean, he kind of had to do it.
So, the first 11 men are in the ring. Adam Cole's music hits. Pops me every time. Still a great theme. And at the beginning of the match was one of my favorite moments. We had Evil Uno, baby!
Yeah, but that didn't last
just to
too
get
long,
eliminated.
You have the AEW Arcade podcast going at it. Good shit.
Yeah,
good
he
shit.
gets eliminated.
Yeah.
Pretty much immediately, which I laughed. I'll admit I laughed. Who did he get eliminated by? Mark Davis?
Yeah, all right. Yeah, we don't go over every elimination.
Yeah,
but
we don't
there
know.
was some
I actually noted everything down.
There was some moments in the match that was somewhat important. One of which was being Leo Rush and Action Andretti eliminating Dante and Darius Martin of Top Flight. I don't think it's a breakup. I mean, this has been done before when it comes to tag team partners throwing each other out of battle royals because it's every man for themselves. But that happened. Brian Cage and Lance Archer, their tag name seems to be called Murder Machine, which that might add well that might cause a problem within New Japan because Sho, his nickname is Murder Machine. Like he gets announced Murder Machine Sho. So I don't think it's gonna be a problem, obviously, but I could see them doing like a thing, maybe a Wrestle Dynasty where the actual Murder Machine Show, he fucking takes issue with that shit. So because the show's a fucking piece of shit, has to torture fuck. So we'll see. But yeah, that was pretty cool. But it came down to Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly, and those two won the match. So those two will be facing each other next week at Winter is Coming.
Yeah,
which is what I expected before the match even got in the ring. Before I even knew
it was too obvious which two were winning.
Oh yeah,
it's way too obvious.
Well, since he was just like, I'm entering in that damn battle royal, make me number 2.
Also, I just got a Rampage spoilers. It's gonna be nice show for you guys.
I don't. Yeah, I'll probably be home Friday. Who knows?
I won't be.
After
I'll be
this,
out
we
work.
had. I mean, as of now, I don't have any plans. Who the hell knows? After this, we had the Julia Hart vignette on Jamie Hayter. I've been enjoying these vignettes. Kind
And-
of looking forward to her coming back.
And this tournament that they're in is to get into the Tokyo Dome at Wrestle Dynasty. Each company that's a part of Wrestle Dynasty is having a tournament where four women have to compete to get into the tournament. CMLL, CMLL, Stardom, Ring of Honor, and AEW will send, and they'll have a fatal four way. So it's obviously going to come down to Willow and Jamie Hayter. It's probably, see, as much as I want it to be Jamie Hayter and see Jamie Hayter in the Tokyo Dome, I think it's going to be Willow because New Japan loves Willow. They love Willow. They use her all the time for their New Japan Strong shows in America. They obviously put the Strong Women's title on her first. Obviously, there was other shit involved with that, but they put it on her for as long as they did. They bring her in all the time. So I think Willow is probably going to end up in that spot, and Julia is going to make her return and screw over Jamie, and then light up a feud with that. But yeah, I think Willow's going to end up winning that mini tournament. For the I know on the Ring of Honor side, it's Athena, Billy Starks, Red Velvet, and Layla Hirsch, I believe. That should be
Probably Athena.
That should be Athena, probably. I don't even know. Actually, no, not probably. That should be Athena. On the CMLL side, the only woman I'm familiar with there is Zeuxis, and I could say because she wrestled a couple matches on Dynamite when they were running Stephanie Valquer and Mercedes for Forbidden Door.
Yeah.
And on the Stardom side of things, I don't know who's a part of the Stardom side. So we'll see who wins it, but it's Athena and Willow are probably getting there in that Wrestle Dynasty Fatal 4-Way.
Yeah.
Yeah, most likely.
After this was the Jericho segment, right?
No, that was way later on. After this, we
Oh.
had Caster Bowens and Billy Gunn backstage, where Billy Gunn and Anthony Bowens were apparently talking to Max Caster from 7:45 to 8:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, trying to convince him not to wrestle Swerve tonight, to no avail, because he, in very subtle ways, said, "Yeah, fuck off, I'm wrestling this match." And they're still, slowly building to the eventual breakup. So slow progress there, but albeit consistent. And no hands in for Caster. So
I just want to say about this acclaimed angle. I think they're doing what people are saying, which people are like, "Oh my god, why are they doing Caster? Why it should be?" Everyone says it should be Bowens because obviously Bowens is much better in the ring, but I think that's the entire point of this angle. You got Max fucking out here being a dick. He's saying he's the best wrestler alive. Obviously, no one believes that, and that's the point of the story. He's doing all this shit, and then you got fucking Bowens who's gonna come out as a massive baby face in this. Because say if they did this and they split them up, they had Bowens go on a baby face run, singles run. What is that gonna do for Max Caster? Obviously, I know people don't like Max Caster, but look what they're doing right now. So you have Max Caster doing this shit, best wrestler alive, all this shit. He's getting singles matches. He's getting more opportunities. So when Bowens breaks out on his singles run, Max is already built up as a heel. You're not doing one, you're doing both. So that's what I'm seeing here. It's pretty simple, and I think it's the best way to go because if you elevate Max as a heel first, Bowens is just going to be even bigger of a babyface.
Yeah.
And Max is already going to be an established heel. So you could have Max do lower mid-card feuds, singles-wise, as a heel because he's already been established. They're not just breaking Anthony away and just say, all right, fuck him. Fuck Max. So we'll see. I like the way they're doing it.
It's going to be interesting.
I think Max and Anthony are aware of
The heat
what's
that
been
Max
said.
has.
Yeah. And the best wrestler alive stuff. It's like he's been doing that for years, even before. Like his name on Twitter is best wrestler alive, far before this, like a year before this angle started. So this is something like people he irritates people. That's his thing. So that's obviously what's gonna happen. But I think it's smart that they're going with that because obviously people do not like him.
Mm.
Correct.
But
We after this we basically go right into the match,
Yes.
and after the wrap is done, Swerve attacks him while he's still up on the apron, and Tony Schiavone says that's what we call a caster drop. I don't know why I found that as funny as I did, but
thank you, Tony Schiavone.
he always I love Tony, great guy. It's basically this was a glorified squash. This for some reason went through a picture-in-picture break, but 3 straight house calls. Swerve pins him, or house call kicks, I should say. Swerve pins him as he's leaving the ring. They're on commentary saying he's got to remind people why he is the self-proclaimed most dangerous man in AEW. So he slowly gets back into the ring after looking at Nana, and they're both on the same page. Like, I know what you're thinking. Climbs up to the top rope, swerve stomp, leaves him laying. This accomplished what it needed
This
to.
was a complete squash for Max Caster. And what I would do after this is that it doesn't need to be anytime soon, but they would have to remind people of the match depending on how long they wait. But I'd have Anthony wrestle Swerve. Doesn't have to be soon. I'd have him wrestle him in the next couple of months and have Anthony and Swerve have at least 20 minutes and go to war with each other to show this is the difference between Max Caster and Anthony Bowens. If you want to build him up as a babyface, there you go. And then they could go back to it and say, hey, I lasted. And fucking Anthony go, hey, I lasted 25 minutes with a former world champion. You couldn't even last 2. So there's shit like that. I would go and do an Anthony Bowen Swerve match, just in the near future, if they want to help that angle.
Mm. I
Smart
think,
move.
yeah, that would be nice.
Smart plan.
Either that, or
Tony Khan should hire you.
or you do
wish.
the semi rare thing in situations for matches. Do a time limit draw for Anthony and Swerve. Go like 30 minutes. Because I think that's a normal
I would do
expedition
20.
match.
So you could, but that's the thing though. Anthony being in there and having a competitive match with Swerve does the same thing, and Anthony losing does the same thing for him as a time limit draw. Because as a time limit draw, it's like, okay, it's not a title match. All right, he drew with the former. Swerve's not the champ anymore. He's a former world champ. But if he goes in there, has a competitive match, and has a couple near falls against a former world champ, and he loses still, and he gets up in defeat and shakes, and Swerve raises his hand, that's going to do a lot more for Anthony in loss than a time limit draw would be. Because then you're gonna, all right, when are they gonna go again? When is this? Are they finished or are they not? It's gonna be a lot more quick and easy, one and done. This guy gets built up as a new big baby face. He went this far with this guy. Swerve puts him over because he's winning even in defeat.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that would be good because both and that would help the storyline too because they both lost to Swerve. They both were defeated by him. But one of the defeats was a lot more prettier than the other. And I just think that they would be on the same playing field, but literally Bowens would have more chips in his fucking basket than Max would. So that's why I wouldn't do the time limit. If you want to go back in a couple of years and do a time limit with him and Swerve, then yeah, go for it. But I think now he would get more out of taking a loss, a competitive loss to Swerve, than just have him go in a time limit. Because if they go to time limit, I think that's probably just going to draw things out.
True.
Well said. Well said.
Um.
After this, we had MJF in a bar, cutting
This
a
guy
promo
is
on
anywhere
Adam Cole.
but fucking
Te-
TV.
television.
This
Yeah.
guy's anywhere but TV.
Yeah, I'm surprised he's not back yet, to be honest. Like, isn't he done filming whatever he was filming?
No, he finished and then he got casted in something else.
Oh, good for him.
Yeah.
Mm.
Must be nice. But yeah, he's basically brings it up again how, yeah, you turned on me because you thought I was going to turn on you first. We had something, we were white hot. But look what's happened since you turned on me. I almost said Rocky Romero. Roderick Strong had his arm broken. You are not going to beat Kyle O'Reilly next week, and when I face Kyle O'Reilly at the pay-per-view, he's going to get basically his ass kicked, and it's going to be your fault again. So,
Oh wow.
excited to see where this goes. Uno, or what happened? Okay.
Zach, I don't know. You probably saw this already, but well, I mean, I think it's a spoiler that's kind of gonna get too big to
The Matt Cardona.
hide. Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I was talking about. And it's for
Okay.
it's on. It's on.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah. So for our
Matt Cardona is going to be challenging Chris Jericho
Yeah.
for the Ring of Honor World Championship at Final Battle. It's everywhere. It's
yeah, that's what I was talking about the
kinda too big
spoiler.
right now.
I didn't mean
Yeah.
to say Rampage. It was ROH TV.
Mhm.
I just saw Rampage on the tweet, so I was like, oh, okay, it's Rampage. But yeah, so Matt Cardona, Chris Jericho, Final Battle. That's gonna be really good. I would love for Matt Cardona to take it off of Jericho. Add to Cardona's just whole like list of accomplishments post WWE.
You're probably going to put the title back on Briscoe, right?
Maybe
until a TV deal is finished. That whenever that is.
But
that's not finalized yet.
We don't know. That's what I put on Jericho in the first place. So maybe they wait until after Final Battle or after Final Battle to announce something about it. I don't know.
I love how when that match first happened and they put the title on Jericho. Oh yeah. TV deal's got to be coming. A week later, we just hear absolutely nothing, and we're here like,
well, because TV deals aren't
TV deal getting finalized. And we're just like, okay, we were right.
Also, like a lot of this stuff is being kept close to the chest because they don't know if it's going to be like a network deal or if it's going to be like the max deal. Because like the best place I see ROH ending up if it's TV is True TV. That's where it's going to be. I think like that's it. And if they want to have fun, run some of the old ROH episodes on Adult Swim. That's like probably like your best bet. It fits that grungy style for Adult Swim at this point.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. So yeah, that's the spoiler I was talking about, folks. Sorry, not sorry. All right. So what was next?
Yeah, after MJF finished, basically tearing down Adam Cole's life for what's about to happen in the coming weeks, we had Jay White versus Pac. And we had a nice little short vignette before the match. Good stuff.
This was fantastic. This was fantastic.
Yes.
This has never happened before. I was very excited for this. I mean, obviously they were holding back because they're going to do this another day in a bigger setting and maybe even on a pay-per-view. But this was fantastic for what we got. I mean, the finish was fantastic. I mean, everything, this was a very well-worked match. I mean, you get these two guys on a graphic, you know what you're gonna get. I mean, I love what they're doing with Jay. It's a complete reset of what they were doing before his injury. I mean, he's in a very, very prominent position, and he's winning a lot. I mean, it's night and day from the bullshit that he was doing with fucking Billy Gunn and all that. I mean, that was putrid. But this was a fantastic match. Yuta got involved a couple times here. Yuta's getting real heel heat. with the fans. They're chanting "fuck you, Yuta," and Yuta sucks all the time. He's getting real heat off this shit. Because I mean, I think it's not. I mean, the people don't like Yuta, but there's a thing where it's like, oh, this guy's better than this. This guy should be what Brian was, or like Brian's protege or whatever. And I think that's obviously where the story's going to end up. But I think they're doing well with him. But Pac, I mean, obviously, you know what? I mean, come on, this guy's fucking one of the best. Obviously, Jay is too. But yeah, the match itself was fantastic. Jay won with a Blade Runner. After the match, here comes the Death Riders. They're beating the fuck out of Jay. But then here comes well, Moxley's trying to get out of the ring, but here comes the Hangman. Here comes Hangman Page. He starts having a stare down with Marina Shafir, and and then Moxley starts walking up. Then all of a sudden, the cameraman starts choking out Moxley with the camera wire, but it turns out to be the returning Orange Cassidy, who we haven't seen since the pay-per-view. They start going at it. Hangman starts going at it with Moxley, and then in the ring, it ends up being a big finisher fest. When it comes down to the last three people standing in the ring being Jay White, Hangman, and Orange Cassidy, which is a very unlikely trio because none of them fucking like each other at all. But I really enjoyed this segment. And then the last thing was Christian Cage lurking in the tunnel with his contract, saying that he's still a player in this entire situation. So there's a lot of moving parts with the Death Riders angle, but I'm really liking it, and I think it's a lot better now that there's actual prominent names in it. Because when it started, it was a cool concept, but you guys, I mean, you guys got guys out there like fucking Evil Uno and like Top Flight. It's all right. It's like I like those guys, but it's like this isn't something. I mean, come on. You have Jay, Orange, and Hangman involved in this, and Christian. Those are big names that are involved in the top angle. So I thought this was really, really good with a lot of moving parts and a lot of stuff to think about that makes it unpredictable.
Oh yeah. I think
Yeah,
this
and I like. Go ahead.
I think this leads to what like a 6-man tag at World's End between them.
I don't think so. I mean,
Because I don't see Mox defending the title yet.
Well, they already announced next week that they're doing Mox and Pac versus Jay White and Orange Cassidy in a tag team match.
Okay.
So I don't think they're going to be doing a 6-man. I think Jay and Moxley are going to wrestle for the world title at World's End. I think that's where we're going. I think it's going to be Jay and Moxley for the title. Potentially a 3-way with Hangman in there. But I don't. Could be a fatal 4 with Orange as well, but I don't think that's going to happen. I think if anything, it's going to be the 3-way, but it's most likely right now Jay and Moxley. You could do Orange. So I mean, Hangman and Orange are going to be
run back
in some capacity. So we don't know what that's going to be.
If they don't do the trios title match, run back Cassidy and Pac. Run it back.
I mean, they could do. I completely fucking forgot about the trios titles. I'm not even joking. I forgot they were the trios champions because they don't carry them. And it's
true.
Holding them hostage.
Yeah, so they. Yeah, so I'm not sure. I think they're probably the trios titles are probably taking a back seat right now. If anything, which I'm fine with. It's fine. But we'll see when it comes to that.
For a while. Yeah, and I like how all of these guys got intertwined into the storyline almost immediately. Because, I mean, up until Full Gear, Jay White, Christian Cage, Hangman weren't a part of this. And then that crazy ending intertwined them into this. And I'm just like, all right, everything makes sense. This is good. This is good.
Yeah, I think that's what we were talking about last week. We said just make it make sense.
Took them a few weeks to get there, but they chose the correct route for sure.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, one, they had to establish the concept and then 2 add the big names. So done and done. I like this so far. Now the real question is, when is Christian Cage becoming AEW champion?
That's the thing, though.
People are gonna lose their shit if that happens.
When he does eventually cash in, I do really think he's going to fail. I really believe he will fail.
What I would hope in a perfect world is the story with how this contract split was or is supposed to go down was that like once Christian cashes it in, it was supposed to be with Luchasaurus like screwing him over.
Yeah, that was absolutely what was going to happen.
And right now we are hard pivoting because we don't know when or if he'll be back.
I don't put that. Yeah, I don't put that on anybody. I don't put that on the company. I don't put that on anybody. I mean, obviously, that was a horrible circumstance, and I hope he's getting well. We don't know if or when he's going to be back, or if that's even going to be able to be possible. So I mean,
yeah, because they had to hard pivot.
I don't know what they have planned there. That's nobody's fault. So we'll see how that works out. But when he does do it, I think obviously it was given him for that, and he obviously would have failed. So I think he's going to fail anyway. Depending on what it is. I don't know if it's going to be Kip. I don't know if it's going to be Nick. But we'll see.
I think maybe Kip is the best case scenario because I'd
rather them turn Nick at that point, because I remember there was a segment where it's like he was buddying up to Kip and Nick was looking at him like, what the fuck? I'd rather it be Nick because Nick has more upside than Kip does.
That could be it too.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like we still need another few weeks to see, which one it's going to be. Because, I don't know. We've kind of had this before, and I don't know. Nothing ever really happened with it. Then, obviously, we just mentioned the Luchasaurus situation. So, never know. But after this, we had a Jamie Hayter promo responding to the Julia Hart vignette from earlier in the night. So, decent stuff. Just,
hey, I'm going to fight you.
The matchup further. Yeah. Just building the matchup further. Like to see that. Then we had the Chris Jericho breaking
gave me a
New York Minute.
Holy shit.
I swear to God, I thought this was a commercial for a second. And then I realized, this is live.
Live from Sin City. Huh? From the Big Easy.
Big Easy.
What?
And people say they don't promote their own shows. What was this?
I
he promoted 3 shows in the span of 10 seconds.
He promoted 3 shows. Not within the area in which it's being held. Hammerstein.
Hammerstein
Ballroom. Fucking in New York. Not in Los Angeles. Not in Philadelphia. Not in fucking the Big Easy. Holy fuck. God damn. The worst part is, as I have mentioned a lot of episodes, Wednesdays are like my off days from work. I did have work today, but it's my days where I take my edibles and I kind of wind myself down. So I was slowly coming down, but I was still high as shit for this fucking Jericho segment. So it did not make it better. Oh, it's just my cause. Okay. But so Jericho just said, hey, and I will announce my opponent for Final Battle on ROH on Thursday, which you can watch on Ring of Honor Club.
Watch ROH.com, baby.
And then we now go into...
Oh, after this, we had another vignette that I also thought was a commercial at first, because we're in an old school cowboy town.
This was fantastic.
Yeah, I thought this was
very off guard.
I thought this was gonna be a long commercial for like Prilosec or fucking some type of men's erectile dysfunction medication.
Yeah, I thought that. Yeah, I thought it was going to be something, but like as soon as they started talking, I'm like, is this part? This might be part of the show because it didn't sound like a commercial. So I'm just like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah, so it's like this old western town. These guys talking about how somebody's returning, and I couldn't piece it together. I'm like, well, it's obviously not Hangman. It's obviously not Brian Keith. Um, and
I thought it was Brian Keith at first.
yeah, and then they look. There's like, well, some may say he's wanted. Some may say he's a wanted man. As soon as they said wanted man, I'm like, what is this fucking Nick Nemeth? Because his nickname on the Indies is the Wanted Man. So I was like, well, they're bringing Nemeth in, but then he puts a maybe. Then he said the most one, and then he as he said that he staples the wanted poster onto the door, and it's Bandito, and
Yeah,
I'm
the
so
outlaw.
happy. That's fucking awesome. Bandito's coming back. Very happy and excited about that. I mean, this guy had such a rough go of it. I mean, he had wrist surgery, and the surgery was botched. It was terrible surgery,
Oh,
and that means he had to recover, do an entire recovery, and then has to get another surgery to correct the recovery, and then recover again. I mean, another
brutal.
surgery to correct the botch, and then have another recovery. So he was out for fucking a year and a half, 2 years. So he kind of got fucked over, but I'm very excited he's finally coming back. Very excited to see Bandito. That guy's fucking awesome. But there was a person on the vignette, on the Twitter post for the vignette, and I just looked at it, and I think this is, I mean, I don't think they're going to do this, but this is a fantastic idea from somebody on Twitter, which that shit is few and far between. So when I'm saying this, because I hate wrestling fans, uh, that's how you
Yeah.
know it's a great idea. But this person, Miles Inside, says, would be cool if there's an actual $100,000 bounty on him, and the entire roster keeps trying to cash in on it. So like every week is an open challenge against Bandito, someone trying to beat this guy, and whoever beats him gets $100,000. I think that's a great idea. That's a very very good idea. Like he's most wanted. Like there's a bounty on this guy, and to be honest, I think the
Brian
best.
Keith.
I'm about to say the best person to be his final opponent, whoever ends up beating him, is Brian Keith, the bounty hunter. That would be fucking cool. I think that'd be really cool. Or Hangman. Um, So, I just think that's a regret. I doubt that's ever going to happen, or that's exactly what's actually going to happen. But I think that's a great idea.
Actually, that is pretty cool. Yeah.
Sorry, I'm just replying to something.
Good. You good?
Next up,
After this, we had Ada J versus Penelope Ford, and this was another match on the show where there was a short vignette before the start of the match, just recapping to how we got here. I gotta admit, I kind of enjoyed that they did this. Not gonna lie, because I do tend to forget a lot of shit
yeah, this
going through
wasn't
5 hours of television.
Yeah, this wasn't bad. It's a pretty good match between these two. I mean,
Decent little match.
Penelope, I gotta give her credit. I mean, she was gone for 2 years, but she has looked pretty good in the ring. Um, she doesn't really look like she looks like she was good before she left, but she looks like she didn't really miss a beat. And Anna's obviously improved, but the match itself was good. I enjoyed it. Anna ended up winning. With her, I mean, I don't know what she calls it, but I know what Shingo calls it. I mean, it's a gory buster, but Shingo calls it the no shigami, so that's kind of what I stuck with because I mean that's what Shingo does. Um, but Anna, when she gets on the mic, she then calls out Mercedes. Mercedes comes out. She says, "I ain't giving you no fucking title shot. You haven't done shit." And then Anna slaps her in the fucking face. Mercedes about to fight her. She walks off. She says, "Nah, it's gonna be on my time." And then they announce in 2 weeks at Holiday Bash, it's gonna be Anna Jay versus Mercedes Moné for the TBS title.
Which
Yeah, during this,
I would have loved to have seen like a reaction shot to say Mercedes Moné seeing that, because clearly she did not want that match. You could just have like her now. Oh, the match is official. It was made official like that. Fuck it. Show her reaction to it. Build up this heel stuff.
yeah, that would have been a good idea
I mean,
too.
she's done that before. I mean, like she's been on commentary where Tony's told her like, "Yo, you got a match," and she said, "What the fuck?" Or Renee has done it. She's getting pissed at Renee.
Yeah, one of the things that I thought they were going to emphasize during this, like when Mercedes was taking off both title belts, the jacket, or whatever the hell that was, and one of the things she was wearing on her fingers, like when they pan back to Anna in the ring after Mercedes takes her belts and leaves, it's still like on the ring canvas, and I was just, part of me wanted Anna to realize it, look at it for a couple seconds, back at Mercedes. That way, it would have built in, oh, maybe this gets used in the match next week, but they didn't do that. Was I the only one that noticed that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, the one time I actually pay attention.
Listen, man, I just got why must web pages be default bright? Fuck.
Eh.
After
I
this-
love how I just saw the change in color back to dark.
God.
After this, what
Fuck.
do we have?
After this, we had the sit-down interview with Renee and Mariah May. How Renee asks Mariah a question, and then Mariah basically banters her. Renee tries to leave, and it's just like, nah, I'm not doing this. And Mariah makes her sit back down. She starts to cut a promo, and in the background, we see a woman who was very clearly Mina Shirakawa walking towards them at a brisk pace, goes in through one door, behind, in through the other door, to where Renee and Mariah are. She keeps briskly walking right up to Mariah. Renee sees this. She's like, I'm out. Mariah flinches because Mina has a wine bottle, or a champagne bottle, I should say. And at least I caught myself and corrected myself on the spot this time. So she comes in with the champagne bottle, teases that she's going to hit Mariah over the head, goes right up next to her, stops, and Mariah's just like,
Do it
and
do it
she
to my
just,
face.
Do it to my face.
Yeah.
That's really all they needed to do to build this match up, and I'm just like, all right, cool, sign me up.
No, I agree with that.
Yeah. I mean, it was. I think it's good.
Simple and
Mina,
effective.
yeah, Mina's taking the high road. She's obviously the babyface in this situation. So very excited for this match. I mean, they wrestled a little bit in Stardom, but they was really just tagging together through the entire thing. So very, very excited for this.
Oh yeah. And excuse me, it's time for the main event. Brody King versus Claudio Castagnoli, Continental Classic matchup. Good stuff.
Damn.
I agree.
That's it? That's all they did?
Well, I mean, it definitely was a good match.
But this was a very, very good. Both men walked in with 3 points as the block leaders. And just, yeah, it was a big horse fight, big two fuck niggas beating the shit out of each other. And just beating the fucking. I mean, they were chopping the shit out of each other. I mean, Claudio is a fucking freak. I mean, this guy's tossing this guy, picking this guy around like he's wrestling Darby Allin. I mean, this is Brody King. I mean, this guy's just tossing him and picking him up like he's nothing. And I love that he never did the swing, because that's a very crowd pleasing thing. And he's not doing it since he's in a big heel faction. But yeah, Brody ended up going up. He ended up going for the Gonzo bomb. Claudio got a hold of Bryce and then ended up giving Brody a low blow and then hit the neutralizer on Brody King to defeat him and earn 3 more points, and now is the sole block leader of Gold League with 6 points. So he is the gold block leader as it stands. Obviously, other people haven't wrestled yet. However, the only person that could possibly tie him this week would be Will Ospreay, who also has 3 points. So we'll see how it goes. But yeah, this was a great show tonight. I really enjoyed it. I thought the matches were fantastic tonight. The wrestling itself was great. I thought it was a big improvement. And I very much enjoyed myself for the show.
Wrestler. Oof, voice crack there.
This
Wrestler
also
of
got me thinking.
what?
Do you think possibly Claudio's on the pay-per-view just to have somebody, from the Death Riders on the pay-per-view besides Mox?
I mean, if there's a trios match, they could. I mean, Claudio. I don't think Claudio was making it out of the block anyway. I think he's winning matches early because of the Death Riders, but he's in the Gold League, so he's gonna have to run into Darby Allin. I think Darby's gonna end up fucking him points-wise. I think Darby's gonna beat him. Like he's gonna deny Claudio from making it. Like there's gonna be a scenario where Claudio is about to make it into the semis, and then Darby ends up stopping it. And then they go to bat. Well, I don't think Claudio's making it out, but I think he's getting hot early. I think that's really how it all goes in these types of round robin tournaments. The guys who are in the big storylines or the big factions or the mean heel factions, they usually get hot early and they fizzle out later. So how that works in the G1 as well. But yeah, that's where I see it going right now, at least.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Wrestler of the week. I will give it to Swerve. So, yeah. No reasoning, just Swerve. Deserves it.
I guess I will go with why not? Jay White.
I'm gonna go with Shelton Benjamin. Just fantastic work since he's came into the company. Another great match tonight.
Yeah. All right, y'all. We will catch you next week for the go home show for World's End. World's End came up fast. Holy shit.
Really?
Wait, hold on.
Wait, never mind.
Hold the fuck up.
That's the 21st. Sorry. I'm like,
Jesus Christ.
dude, I got so much going on. I got so much.
God.
2 weeks off.
Dude, fucking next week I'm graduating college, all right, man? I got a lot of shit going on in my brain.
Yeah, but we got a pay-per-view.
Congrats.
That's more important.
Nah, man, fuck that. my degree is more important than this thing that we've been doing for almost 5 fucking years.
Hell nah.
Nah.
No, sir.
All right, y'all. We will see you next week and all that
I was
fun
watching
jazz.
the goddamn Best of the Super Juniors while I was sitting there getting ready to...